Hi, it's me Leo, back again with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at this portable 120Hz OLED monitor from a brand you've probably never heard of. So the brand Uperfect contacted me and was like, do you want to check out our new OLED portable monitor that also happens to have 120Hz? And I was like, yeah, that actually does sound like quite an interesting product to make a video on. So as always, I've not been paid to review this product, I've just been sent the review unit, so everything I say is my own opinion. So anyway, let's start this video off by taking a look inside the box. So the box itself is quite bland, it's just a white box that says portable monitor on it. So let's open up the box. So the monitor's in a plastic sleeve, let's get that off, and then some plastic over the screen. So there you go, there's the Ucolor O2 monitor, and it comes with a magnetic flip case that can also double up as a stand. So removing the case, my initial impressions are, wow, this is a very thin monitor. I don't think this camera does it any justice, but it is probably as thin as a piece of cardboard. On the website it says 6.5mm, but it also doesn't feel fragile. The whole thing's made out of aluminium and it feels very sturdy. So if we carry on looking inside the box, there is an instruction manual and also some cables. So the first cable that's included is a mini HDMI to full-size HDMI. This is probably what you would use to connect a games console to this monitor. And the reason this is a mini HDMI is because, as I mentioned, this monitor is so thin that it probably wouldn't be able to fit a full-size HDMI on the side of it. You'll also find two USB-C cables inside the box. One is intended to power the device. This isn't a battery-powered device. And to go with that, there is a 30-watt USB charging brick. And the other included USB-C cables intended for image output in devices that don't have HDMI cables, such as my laptop. I was able to connect my laptop to this monitor using this USB-C cable. And finally, there's a small bag of VESA mount screws, so you can actually attach this to a monitor arm if you want to. So this monitor is called the Ucolor O2 and it's from a brand called Uperfect. It is a 16-inch 16:10 aspect ratio 3K, so 2880 by 1800 pixels OLED 120Hz monitor. So those are some pretty impressive specs for a monitor of this size. So at the time of filming this video, Uperfect has got this monitor on sale, so you can buy the touch variant of this monitor, which has a touch screen, for $399, or you can save $50 and go with the non-touch version, which is the version that I have here. That's $350. So I'm quickly going to talk about the screen quality because that's probably the most important thing to consider when buying a monitor. So as I've already mentioned, this is a 16-inch monitor with a 16:10 aspect ratio and a resolution of 2880 by 1800. So as you can see, the bezels on this monitor are quite small, but it's definitely not edge to edge. And there is quite a large chin. So in terms of image sharpness, the 3K resolution is probably more than enough. This is a very sharp monitor, especially the fact that it's a 16-inch monitor. You're not really going to be able to see many pixels. So this does have a 16:10 aspect ratio, and that's because this is more designed to be a productivity monitor that's paired with your laptop, designed for sort of video editing and browsing the web. And with the 16:10, you do get a little bit more screen real estate at the bottom, which has the advantage of being able to see more on web pages. But this aspect ratio does also come with some disadvantages. For example, if you plug in something like a games console, it's going to have black bars at the top and bottom because these devices only support 16:9. I am happy to report that the overall quality of this monitor is really good, but that's probably to be expected. It is an OLED panel. It's got very good viewing angles, bright vibrant colors, very good contrast. As it is an OLED, it can have very inky blacks, and it does get fairly bright, up to 500 nits according to the website. And it also apparently covers 100% of the DCI P3 color gamut. So this monitor is definitely good enough for some semi-professional photo editing. And as I mentioned, you can also get this monitor with a touch screen. So we're now going to take a look at the external design and features of this monitor. So the whole of the back of this monitor is made out of aluminium, so it does feel very sturdy. It also comes with a magnetic flip case which doubles up as a stand. This is particularly useful if you want to shove this monitor in a backpack or take it traveling, because it does add some protection to the screen. On the left side of this device, there are 5 metal buttons. This includes the power button, volume buttons, and menu button, which allows you to navigate the settings menu. On the right side of the device, you'll find a mini HDMI port as well as 2 USB-C ports for display input and powering the monitor. And in terms of powering this monitor, it does require a minimum of 16 watts. In the box, it does come with a 30-watt power brick. In terms of portability, this monitor isn't particularly heavy. It comes in at 720 40 grams. And surprisingly, this monitor actually has built-in speakers that fire backwards. There are 2 tiny speaker grills on the back, but in terms of sound quality, these speakers are pretty poor. Here's an example of what they sound like compared to my MacBook speakers. So this is a test of the inbuilt speakers. We're going to start with the MacBook speakers. So I'm next quickly going to touch on the operating systems of both these consoles. Functionality-wise, they're both pretty similar. You're able to launch games, download apps such as Netflix and YouTube. You can even browse the web on both consoles. So finally, I'm going to cover my experience with this monitor because I've been testing it for just over 2 weeks. So I have got some thoughts on it. So over the Christmas period, I went to go and visit my grandparents. And I actually brought this monitor with me along with my Xbox. And I actually used this monitor to play multiplayer COD Zombies with my brother, who also brought his Xbox. So my brother connected his Xbox to the TV and I hooked my Xbox up to this monitor. So this allowed us to play multiplayer zombies. Obviously we probably could have played split screen on the TV, but that wouldn't have been as cool. So my experience using this monitor for gaming has been mainly positive. So this monitor can display up to 120Hz, so on games that support this, it does look really smooth. This monitor also has a 1 millisecond response time, so it does feel very responsive. Also, I don't think this monitor supports variable refresh rate, and even though this monitor has HDR support, I've not managed to get it to work with my Xbox. So this monitor does actually have a HDR option in its settings, but I can't get my Xbox to recognize it. If you've got any thoughts on how to fix this, leave them in the comment section below. I do want to quickly mention that I did find for the brightest, most vibrant gaming experience with this monitor, set it to the movie image preset and you should have the best results. But apart from those minor quirks, this is actually a pretty good monitor for gaming. I then connected this monitor to my laptop using USB-C and yeah, it worked really well. I haven't really got any complaints. It used the whole 16:10 aspect ratio, 120Hz, and it worked really well as a second monitor. But I would say if you are planning on doing any video or photo color work, then tweak the settings of the monitor because it does have a tendency to look overly vibrant, which looks great for movies, but it's probably not the most accurate. Anyways, that'll probably wrap this video up on the Ucolor O2. If you've got any questions about this monitor, leave them in the comment section below. I'll also provide a link to the product in the description if you're interested. And if you have enjoyed, be sure to hit that subscribe button, drop us a like, and I'll see everyone in my next video.